Hi everyone, welcome to Isha Reviews. I'm Isha, and since Christmas is coming around the corner, I will be talking about 3 movies to watch this Christmas. And I'll also be ranking these 3 movies, like which one I liked a little better, like third first, and then second, and then the first. So yeah, I hope you like this video. So let's get started. So number 3 is How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2001. So this movie is directed by Ron Howard, and this movie is about the Grinch. It is played by Jim Carrey, and how he tries to ruin Christmas for the citizens of a country called Whoville. This plan is also joined by his dog Max, and I'll be telling you what's good and bad about this film and each of the other films for this video. And for this video, yeah, I'll be telling you what's good and bad about this film so that you can decide if y'all want to watch this on Prime Video or not. So let's talk about the good. I like that this movie has a delayed backstory on who the Grinch is. I like that it's keeping us waiting. I have to say I am very impatient. And I just because I have so many questions that I really want them to be answered quickly, but I actually like when there's a delayed backstory like this in a film because it keeps us watching. It's keeping us wanting to watch longer and staying till the end, and it's a very smart technique to keep you watching for any film or show or things. This is also something I've noticed about the movie Psycho from 1960, and that's a great movie too. It's this is a spoiler, but yeah, that also has a delayed backstory on who are they, why are they this way. It does show who they are, why they are the way they are, but this can't always justify their actions if they're really just messed up or just a terrible person. But as long as it's giving some sort of reason and just getting deep down onto why they are this way, I think that is important for any villain, just to show what messed them up inside, what spoiled them, who spoiled them, why they why are they this way. I think it is very important to show that kind of backstory for any villain. So yeah, I like that this movie had that. The second thing I really liked about this film was Jim Carrey as the Grinch. He is just perfect for these over-the-top characters. It's really made for him. He has this way of making it very silly and just too dramatic and over the top, like how I say, but also kind of not going towards being annoying, which can be very complicated to portray. So I mean, yeah, he does that really well. And if you've seen in films like Dumber and Dumber, Dumb and Dumber, or Ace Ventura, then you might have seen that he's good at these over-the-top characters. And yeah, I've also, and in this film, I really loved his expressions and energy. It's like he was kind of playing the same characters, but it came off well. So that's what I'd say about this film. So yeah. So let's move on to the bad. I'd say this movie is quite generic in terms of plot. This is kind of just me also trying to find something to criticize, because I know that every movie is imperfect, so there are always things to appreciate and criticize. So I also wanted to find something to criticize, and I would say it is quite generic of having a storyline where the villain wants to ruin the community's lives and their happiness, and how they're emotionally like hurt inside, and how that's affecting their how trauma is affecting their character. I feel like it does seem generic, like and it came out in 2001, and movies have been existing for a really long time, and I feel like these kinds of plots have been done many times. It was slightly predictable, I'd say. But I mean, the execution was great, but it was slightly predictable and quite generic. And yeah, but I appreciate that this film had the backstory and things, because that is also important. The execution is good, but it is, just like I said, generic. So yeah. Another thing that I would say that was not the best was like, it's not the funniest Christmas movie, I'd say. I mean, Jim Carrey is great, but it's not like the laugh out loud kind of movie. It has moments, but I wouldn't say it was the funniest film. I didn't like, it wasn't the most memorable to me, but even though like the Grinch was the main character, and he definitely had a lot of screen space, I'd still say this was not the funniest like Christmas movie or movies of all time. So yeah, it was just a movie to me. So yeah, but I like that the director tried, and the execution was quite good. So overall, I'd say it is quite optional. It's not the best or worst movie. I'd say it is like mid to me. So yeah, like just like how I said, it's some good stuff is Jim Carrey's portrayal of the Grinch and the backstory, and but the bad is that it is quite generic, and wouldn't say call it the funniest. So yeah, I'd say it's your choice if you want to watch this film on Prime Video or not. So yeah. So the next movie I'll be talking about is Elf, that came out in 2003. This movie is directed by Jon Favreau, and it's about Buddy the elf. It's a human raised as an elf who goes to New York City to meet his dad, who's a businessman, and to like try to bond with him. So yeah, and I'm also going to be telling you what's good and bad about this film, so that you all can decide if you want to watch this film on Hulu or YouTube or not. So let's talk about the good. I'd say characters' experience with the real world. It's really cool to see how the elf is experiencing the real world, seeing the world that's not like his, and how he reacts to it, and how he's experiencing things. Yeah, Will Ferrell's character like visits a bunch of places, like a bunch of malls and other things, and he's also shown like hopping on the street because he doesn't know he doesn't know that people usually walk on streets instead of hopping. But yeah, and he also does a split in the escalator. He's kind of not sure on if he's supposed to like walk on the elevator, so he like ends up doing a split. So that also ends up being a very memorable moment in the film. So let's talk about more memorable moments. I'd say that's also another good thing. I'd say was the dance scene. If you've seen that part of it, that was just fun to watch for me. The dance was choreographed like really well, and it's just entertaining, and Will Ferrell really killed it in that scene. So I really like that scene, and I also really like the snowball scene where he and his brother, his like younger brother, or they asked some people like throw snowballs at them, and then they're like trying to hide. They both become a team. The elf and his younger brother, like they become a team, and they're doing snowball fights at the bullies, and I just love the scene where Will Ferrell's like doing these fast snowballs. Like that also like calls for another memorable moment for me. So yeah. So the last good thing I'd say about this movie was Will Ferrell's portrayal of the elf, main character. His character is shown as being childish, but this portrayal of it does not come off as annoying, in my opinion. I can tell it can be very hard to act this character out, to have that balance of coming off as childish but not be annoying while acting it out. So, but it came off like really well, and he's also shown as a character who's also good at certain things like decorating, and and with his personality, he is shown to be like a positive and nice guy. So, yeah, I mean, he does have the character like does have that ability to like make you smile and things, I'd say. So yeah, I really liked this character. So yeah. So let's talk about the bad. I would say that this movie was quite generic in my opinion. I believe I might have said that this movie had the best plots on, if you saw that video, movies with the best plots, but I wouldn't say this movie really had an amazing plot. It is slightly generic in my opinion, with the son trying to find his parent and like reunite with him and like spend more time with him, but it's got like a Christmas touch, so that's what kind of makes it stand out. But I'm just trying to find something to like also, I guess, criticize, because yeah, I would say this movie was quite generic in my opinion, but the execution did come off well, so that's what I'd say. So overall, I would recommend this movie. It is really fun, and yeah, it's got a lot of memorable moments, and it's very entertaining. So I would recommend it if you ever want to watch this on like YouTube or Hulu. So yeah. So the last movie that ends up being on the #1 position, becoming my favorite Christmas movie of all time, is obviously Home Alone, which released in 1990. This movie is directed by Chris Columbus, and it's about an 8-year-old kid named Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, who throws a tantrum the night before a family trip to Paris. The McAllisters mistakenly leave the airport without Kevin, and Kevin wakes up to an empty house and wishes to not have a family. But all of this excitement is ruined when he realizes that 2 con men, Harry and Marv, played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, they plan to rob the McAllister residence, and it is Kevin's responsibility to protect the family home. So yeah. So let's talk about the good. I'd say this movie has quite a unique story. Like if we compare it to other Christmas movies, it is slightly dumb. I'll get to that later, but a different story. Where the mom's leaving the kids, but I was curious to see how Kevin would protect himself and his residents. When I first heard about the story, it did make me curious, how Kevin would try to protect himself, all the methods he would use to keep him safe, what kind of character is he, so that made me curious. Another good thing would be the performances. Macaulay Culkin as Kevin. He is really smart and like very aware of his surroundings, and yeah, he does a really good job with like keeping himself safe and like trying to trick those like con men. So yeah, and Harry, played by Joe Pesci, and Marv, played by Daniel Stern. They're also really good in this film with like their reactions. They think they've caught him. They have like so much confidence with that, but then soon they realize that this kid is too smart, that they can't like outsmart this kid. So yeah, I mean, I'd say those three were like the standout performers, and those three just bring out the most fun of the film. So that's what I'd really say. Another thing I really liked, the last thing I really liked, is like how Kevin uses different methods to like trick them. He uses a hot doorknob, and Harry accidentally touches that, and then that opens up, and then that leads to like his cap like getting burnt, and Kevin like also uses like a zip line to like get to his treehouse. Harry and Marv like they also try to get to that, but then Kevin is, since he's too smart, he like cuts it off. So yeah, I mean, I like that Kevin gets to use like different methods in like tricking them. Like I like that he's not just sticking to one thing. He continuously keeps thinking on how he can like trick them. So I like seeing the different methods. It's another thing I really liked. So let's talk about the bad. I would say that I did find it to be hard to support the mom in this film, and that part of it was slightly dumb. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. Like, his mom just like leaves him. Like, she didn't check if all her kids were ready like before she left. Like, the mom and the dad, like, they didn't check, or the siblings did not check at all. Like, they're just like they cared more about hurrying up for their trip. Like, as like there's it just seemed like something that could have been avoided kind of easily. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that part of it was slightly dumb, but I appreciate that it is different from all the other Christmas movies and other movies that are out there. So yeah. So overall, I highly, highly recommend this film if you want like a good laugh and just a fun time and things like that. I would recommend Home Alone to all of you. You can watch this on Disney Plus Hotstar or Hulu, just like I said. So yeah, this is a movie I highly recommend, and it's a classic, and it will forever be a classic. So those were my 3 Christmas movie recommendations. Please tell me your opinions on all of these films if you want to or if you can. I would love to hear it. And I know I have a lot more Christmas movies that I need to watch and haven't really watched yet, but also please feel free to recommend any Christmas movies if you have any other than these 3. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Please, I hope you like, subscribe, or comment things. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and bye. Merry Christmas.